Hey guys, it's Stevie from On the Fly. And if you're looking for a vinyl experience, let me tell you about Everybody's Record Shop in Williamson, North Carolina. I just went in a couple of weeks ago, and let me tell you, I was so impressed. Let me tell you a little bit about this place. Everybody's Record Shop is the place to catch your music fix. They are a local family owned record store based in downtown Williamson, and they specialize in the sale and trade of vinyl records, tapes, CDs, and much more. When you come to them, they want you to feel like you just stepped back in time to the glory days of music. Walking through the front door, you'll be greeted with a surplus of rock, blues, country, classical, soul, anything you can think of. They've got it. Everyone you'll see behind the counter has a deep passion and love for music, and through their shop, they want to help create memories and experiences that you won't forget. Music has the incredible power to bring together different people from all around under a common love. Their goal is to do the same through customer experience and the music they provide. This place is for the music lovers. And I'm telling you guys, if there is something they don't have, let them know. They will order it for you. Go check them out at at 101 West Main Street, Unit B, or you can reach them on the phone at 252-802-8069, on Instagram at Everybody's Record Shop, or on Facebook at Everybody's Record Shop as well.
Hey, don't wake me up if I'm dreaming, but this is J. Anthony Frankie, and you're listening to On the Fly with Stevie and Worden. Cheers.
You are listening to On the Fly.
What's up, guys? Yes, we're back. We're back.
Where we
After,
been? I've been here for like the last couple of weeks, Steve. I was like, hey, there's
I
nobody
know,
over there. I
I know,
showed up, nobody's here. I was like, what's going on?
I know you have, guys. You've all seen my live stuff. You all know what happened a couple of months ago. It was been about 2.5 months now, but we are back. We're gonna start doing this. Start doing a little bit more than what we had before. Um, but yeah, it's been a rough 2 months, but I think it's time for me to get back to it. I've been doing a little bit. I haven't. I mean, I've been doing a like a podcast that I don't really have to do all the setup work for, and that's a little bit different. And the live stuff was just. I mean, that's just spur of the moment stuff. I can talk about anything, but this is a little bit more than that. What we do on our episodes is a little bit more than that. So happy to get back to it. Happy to be able to talk to Warden again up here.
Good to see you again, Stevie.
Appreciate all you guys' thoughts and prayers over the last 2 months, and definitely helped a lot. So tonight we are going to do, and this is I mean, I was thinking of topics, and I was like, well, we like to do our list, but a top five, and we'll eventually go down the list. This is top five bands that start with the letter A, and we're going to give you what we consider their signature song or our best song from that band. So I
A
don't know.
song we like, not necessarily their signature song.
Well, yeah, the song we think
Okay.
is something we like. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
this is it's never it's never about what we think is the greatest on here. It's always what we think is our favorite. So that's the difference. Um, little bit just talk about a little bit about the news. Kiss all over the news, of course. The end of the road. Somebody said that they had changed the name now from the end of the road to the final curtain. Have you heard anything about that? I haven't seen it. I've
I
always
haven't, I
seen the
haven't
end of the
seen that at
road.
all.
I was listening to another podcast and it was like, well, they're calling it the final curtain. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen that, but which I haven't really looked at. The last time I looked at Kiss Online to get the countdown, they've got the countdown up there. It still said end of the road, so maybe.
Only thing I saw is their stage look a little different. Like one in
Yeah,
Orden looks kind of cool, but Hey, did you see that article? It was posted on a few sites about how Paul is like forbidding Ace and Peter from
Yeah.
joining.
Yeah.
I didn't read the article, and
Said
I mean,
it would mar the one of the things he said was we're not celebrating the I guess the 50 years of the band. We're celebrating the end of the band. Um, and it would mar the whole spectacle of it if
in
they
other
were
words,
there.
they turned him down.
I honestly, bud,
There's
I don't think he offered. I think if anybody offered, it was Gene.
It was Doc. It's probably Doc and Gene because Doc had
Yeah.
mentioned something. I think we've talked about this before, and our buddy Tom on Shout Out Loudcast has said it. He's checked out.
Oh
He's like
yeah.
a retiree. He's ready to go home. I mean, the only thing bad about Paul is he actually had to show up for the last 2 weeks. I
I
mean,
mean,
but then I think he's tired of the motions. But I saw somebody also say that when he's on stage is different. Of course, that's different. You're on stage, but I think the whole thing he's a 70-year-old man. I mean,
yeah.
Gene
Yeah.
would do it till he's 170.
Oh
But
yeah.
I think
Here
I don't.
was this quote in that article you're talking about. The tour, and I may have mixed it up a little bit. The tour is a celebration of the band and the life of the band over the past 50 years. It's not a celebration of the original lineup. As important as the original lineup was, I can say that we wouldn't be here today if not for them, and we wouldn't be here today with them. That same line he's used over and over again for I don't know how many since the reunion tour was over. Um,
It seems like Gene is forgiving and Paul holds a grudge. And I honestly I can't really blame Paul. I'm like that too with certain people in my life.
oh yeah,
But I mean, everybody
you're
gives
not.
him shit. Everybody gives him shit. Oh, it's a farewell tour.
You're
And he comes out, what's a farewell to them? I mean, it's
Oh yeah, well he also said it doesn't make sense to allow anybody to come in and call shots.
I agree.
We are in great shape. The band is fantastic. I don't want to mar the celebration. I don't want to mar the situation. It's been too good. And I mean, look, I can understand. I know,
It's like an ex-girlfriend or ex-wife,
I know it hasn't always been easy with Peter and Ace, but these guys are 70 some years old now.
They're a bunch of old ladies.
One of them could be gone tomorrow.
I think that would be fine with Paul.
I think it would be fine with Paul. Now, Gene, on the other hand, I really think Gene wants this to happen because I mean I know he's offered them chances to come up a few times to come up on like the encores and play, and now
Well, he's had him on his box set thing. He had
yeah,
Pete there and he had Ace.
but as far as on this tour, he's offered them chances to come up play the encores,
Yeah.
and every time they've turned him down.
I see their point because hey, the
yeah.
Catman's over there. No, I'm the Catman. Or the Space Ace. No, I'm Space Ace. I get that, but honestly, to Gene and Paul, it's a business. But to Gene, I think he wasn't always this way. I think Shannon,
not Sharon. You're not.
Yeah. No, we don't want her. But I think Shannon's been a good influence on him, and I think his kids, they've humanitized him.
Well, a lot of things have changed with Gene over the past.
I mean, he used to
years.
sue. I mean, I really think, and honestly, I will be honest with you. When I first got into Kiss, I was, I thought Gene Simmons was cool and everything in the 80s and stuff, and I became more of a Paul guy. But I think, on this last kind of role here, I'm more of a Gene guy because it's like you talk, to bring him up again, Tom and Zeus talking about that Vegas thing. God, he sat there and he took time to talk to them. You were talking about the guitar that Paul got. I mean, the guy was, and he supposedly knew the guy.
Yeah. So that's something we talked a little bit about off air. Of course, Tom and Zeus from Shout Out Loudcasters, which great podcast. Check them out if you're a Kiss fan. They have great shows every week. They got to go to Vegas to do a meet and greet with Gene. Have dinner, and they got some awesome stuff out of it too. I mean, awesome memorabilia. And they were talking about how personal he was. He came around to them and talked to them, asked about them. really acted like he wanted to be there and really wanted to know about them. Now, on the other hand, Paul, and guys, don't get us wrong. We love Kiss. We're big Kiss fans. This is how we both came to this podcast.
Hell, I've been a Paul guy most of my time in Kiss. So
Yeah, I mean, I've been a Kiss fan for
Paul and Gene.
45 years now. He does a meet and greet after this guy paid $11,000 for a concert played Paul Stanley guitar, and he gets a meet and greet. And the video of it is not. It's Paul going through the motions. And pretty much just like the guy was trying to talk. I don't know if you heard the guy say, because Evan is opening, his band's opening for them on tour now on this leg until the last two shows. He's not listed there, but he said,
"That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird."
Yeah, but I mean, the last two shows, they're going.
But why didn't they do that earlier? I would have loved to seen his band.
Rather than the Painter.
They had I mean, I hate to get off subject here, but when I saw Iron Maiden a few years ago, they had Steve Harris's daughter's band open up. They were pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
got a lot of guys. You've got a lot of second generation guys. I mean, Lars kids doing a band. I think Trujillo from Metallica, he's got a kid that's doing a band. But okay, Facebook user, I don't know who you are, but you're right. Paul can be such a baby. Gene seems grateful of it. He does. He really does. I mean,
I think Gene he's aware with his mother passing, and I think he's aware of his immortality, because I hear him talk about it. Oh, I can 100 years I'll be dead and stuff. Yeah, I think Gene is very reflective on what he has, and I think to Gene for the longest time, like you listen to those old interviews with him and stuff. Oh, Kiss music sucks. Yeah. You weren't in it for the money. We're all about the money. Gene ain't like that anymore. Gene is very appreciative of the fans and what he's got.
Yeah, I agree. I think Gene has become over the last couple of years. He's moved up the list with me because it used to be, and I mean nothing about it. It's typical rock story. It was all about the money and the women, and I think it kind of changed when he married Shannon. And he still wants the money, I'm sure. I mean, gosh knows that's what you work for. But I think he also realized that you said about his mortality. I agree. He also realizes that he is a lucky man to come from. I know everybody already knows he came from Israel, and came over here and made a terrific living for himself. I mean, he's been part of one of the iconic rock bands of all time. I mean, such an influence on all these other artists, and I think he's going to miss. I think Gene is going to miss it more than any of them.
I'm hoping he does the tour with his solo band. I mean, God,
maybe so.
They haven't played here, but I'd love to see a Vegas residency or something, even more than a Kiss residency, because he actually plays the deeper cuts.
Yeah, and he's not scared to. And look, I listen to
and the rest of the band ain't covering up for him like another former guitarist.
Let's not go there. Listen,
sorry, I had to have my Paul moment.
Hold on. I will say this, and I'll say this. Okay, of course, we're talking about Ace. Now, Ace.
Oh, I was talking about Vinny. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, of course, Vinny.
At least Ace shows up, right?
Ace, you'll get a little bit on your money's worth out of Ace.
Yeah.
Ace, I don't know how old Ace is now, but he's getting up there. And he's probably about 10 or 15 years older than what he actually is because of what he's done to himself over the years. So things are going to slow down. And I mean, should he be out there playing? Well, I mean, I don't know. People are going to pay for it.
Let them do it.
I mean, I would rather go see Ace Frehley play than hear Don Dokken sing right now. Don Dokken it's horrible, dude.
Yeah, but he never was a good singer.
Well, but
Dokken. No, as I told you, Lynch Mob was always better than Dokken. Dokken was overrated.
This Facebook user, whoever you are, identify yourself and let us know.
Quit hiding. Tell us who you are.
But Paul went on his little rants in these interviews. He talked about of course, the Spear where U2 is in Vegas about Kiss, that wouldn't be. Kiss couldn't do that. I mean, they wouldn't pull the crowd to do a residency in that. And I just saw U2 extended their residency there.
I love U2, and Octoon Baby's my favorite album, but I am not paying $430 for a ticket.
Good
No.
gosh, and that's the cheap.
Octoon Baby is one of my favorite albums of all time, and I like U2, but hell no.
But and then he defended the set list, of course, which
well, of course he's going to. That's where all the backing tracks are mic'd up too.
Exactly. I mean, everybody wants to.
They have a stage show to where they
set to the
a few weeks ago, you've seen me on Facebook. I got a buddy of mine. He texts me and goes, "Hey man, I won Guns N' Roses tickets. My wife doesn't want to go. You want to go?"
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
Duff McKagan is one of my favorite rock stars. I think the guy's a good dude.
Yeah.
Like on and off the stage or whatever. And he's like the ultimate rock star to me. He's, he almost killed himself. He came back. He's like another Keith Richards. And I tell you, I know Axl's not playing backup vocals because Axl cannot sing live. He wasn't able to sing live when he was young. But I respect the hell out of him for doing that. And you know what? I had a good time. And and I have a good time when I see Kiss. But you kind of got to know what you get. It's like, oh, he can't sing. Well, Axl can't sing. Well, Axl's not playing a backing track either.
You're
Axl's
not
singing.
The key thing is when you go to these, you're not going to get Paul Stanley from 1977.
Yeah.
You're not going to get Axl Rose from 1987.
Correct.
We got another comment up here, and this is directed at you, Worden. I know who this is now.
Fine.
And I'm going to agree. Don Dokken was good.
Dream Warriors? That's the song you pick?
Yes. Back
with the Dream Warrior. I mean, dude, come on.
I'm going to identify this.
It's not love. It's not love or, in my dreams, but Dream Warriors? Thank you for proving my case.
I'm going to identify who this guy is. It's our buddy from the Potter Than Hill podcast, Steve Wright. So, yeah.
Dawkins was overrated.
Steve. Oh, my God.
Much better. Ani Logan and who's the other guy that were in Lynch Mob blew Don Dawkins away, man. And the thing about Dawkins, too, that they could have been, Don Dawkins, he was exposed as not a very good singer because the production on Dawkins' album sucked.
Oh, it was Brian.
I mean, it was horrible.
It was my buddy Brian that said that Dream Wars. Steve was the guy that talked about Paul was such a baby.
Was he Aggie or a Sooner going after me? Or
no, he's from Chicago.
Okay, I will clarify what I said. Don Dawkins was never one of my favorites. If that makes you feel better. But when you use Dream Warriors as a defense, you've already lost that argument, bro. Dream Warriors, really? Okay,
hey, that's what he likes, Brian.
The Dream Warriors, okay. I'm not going to sleep tonight or whatever, how that goes.
Hey, you better watch how you talk about that. Freddie could come get you in your dreams tonight.
No, I'm Jason. I ain't afraid of Freddie.
Oh, Jason. Jason did win in that Freddie versus Jason movie, didn't he?
Spoiler alert. Thank you. I've never seen it.
Well, no, you'll never see the sequel either. So there never will be.
What was there one?
No, it was a horrible movie. It was horrible, dude. I don't watch horror movies, but I watched that movie just out of curiosity.
Now you're gonna piss Tom off now, and you don't watch horror movies, and you're a member of the Chamber of Thrills.
Sorry, I don't watch
horror
movies like
Stevie?
That.
No. Poser.
Yep, exactly. Oh, we got is this a new subscriber to our own? Yeah, I think so.
It's probably because I was cutting down Dawkins, right? Hey, I like that guy.
That's what it was.
I'm bringing them in, Stevie, one by one.
Mike Green, new subscriber. So thank you, bud. Appreciate it.
Welcome, Mike.
So also Heart. I don't know if you saw this or not. Heart, one of my favorite bands. They are, they've had some problems between the Wilson sisters over the last few years.
Yeah.
Good
to see them back together.
They're going to play their first concert together since 2019. New Year's Eve in Seattle. So,
Oh, cool.
but they played. I think Nancy came out and played guitar on one of Ann's concert. Played Barracuda, and I think that kind of set things in motion, which I'm glad to see, because you don't want to see something happen. I mean, so these, and I know I'm not there. I'm not in the middle of it and everything, but some of these groups that have had these squabbles over the last years and they're getting up there in age, you don't want to. I mean, I'm not saying you have to go out there and play best friends. We're BFFs forever, but when one of them's gone, you're going to regret it. I'm telling you, you're
Yeah,
going to regret it.
especially with them. I mean, there's one thing.
Sisters. I mean,
they're sisters. They're like, they're almost twins. They're so close. They're not twins, but they're almost like twins. I mean, I'm hoping. I didn't say I didn't like Nightmare on Elm Street. I didn't like that song. I said
did you see Nightmare on Elm Street movies?
God, when I was like 11.
Yeah, watch them. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Friday the 13th is a lot better than Nightmare on Elm Street will ever be.
I'll say this about the Nightmare on Elm Street
towards Jason.
The Nightmare on Elm Street movies now, as dark and intense they seem back then, they're just funny now when you go back and watch them.
Well, I'm like every other teenage boy that went to the 80s movies to see a horror movie because there were going to be boobs. There were going to be boobs and they were going to be cutting.
Yeah.
So, slashing, because no. I'm just not okay. I'm not a fan of Dawkins. I like some songs, but I think Ani Logan and whoever that other guy was.
He's a fan.
I like Lynch Mob better. Yeah. I like more songs from Lynch Mob. And speaking of what, they're doing a tour. I saw George Lynch posted something about they're doing something where I guess I don't know who he's playing with, but except for the rap album he tried to do, I was like, okay, I don't know about that. But I saw something on Facebook. Mitch posted something about them doing a tour. Yeah, Mitch LaFon doing a tour with. I go see that. I mean, I did Lynch Mob.
And by the way, while we're talking about Mitch, gosh, prayers for Mitch. Hope he'll feel better sometime soon. I need to check on him because Mitch got COVID and he's got the long-term effects of COVID. He's had it for a while, and this guy is so brilliant. I mean, this is one of the guys that I would go to ask questions about stuff. What went on here and what was this? And he's been on the show or in the early days of the show. But man, what a great guy. But yeah, Mitch is having a rough time right now. I keep him in prayer where he's not doing his podcast anymore.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
he still posts a lot on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah, he still posts, and I'm glad to see that. But
and all I'll say is that his podcast, when he left a certain podcast, it was never as good.
Well, I stopped watching after he left.
Yeah, but I think the person that replaced him was not as good as Mitch. That's just what I'm going to say.
I'll have to agree with you there.
Am I forgiven for the Dawkins slander?
No, it's all good here, bud. It's all good.
I like Mitch's. I've interacted. I don't know the guy like you did because you had him on the podcast. I've talked to him. I mean, he's a Bon Jovi freak. I see that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And he was putting that thing out there about Richie joining the band, and I was like, that's the one thing that might get me to go see Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
But I tell you, if Heart goes on tour, I missed Heart a few years ago when they played with Tesla and Def Leppard. I should have went to that. And I missed it. I think it was Def Leppard or Cheap Trick. It was a good lineup. But when they come back, Nancy Wilson has been probably maybe next to Madonna and Samantha Fox, my three biggest crushes in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean that Heart is like I would put them right up there.
I like her album. She was on a Chris Jericho podcast talking about her new album. I listened to her album, and you know me, and I'm not a big fan of new music, but I every once in a while a band gets me, and her album was good.
Have you listened to the new Rolling Stones yet?
I love it. The Stones are the Stones are my band, dude. After
Kiss. I was here ready to say that's what
I wish Kiss could do God, it's just It's
dude.
just rock and roll, bro.
No.
It's great.
No old groups can do new music anymore, according to somebody with a star on his face. And so, nobody wants to hear. Nobody wants to hear old bands do new music.
I think Paul's still bitter about the '80s. How he didn't. It was
bitter,
his.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, he's bitter, but I mean, he's like Howard Stern. I still listen to Howard Stern. He had an interview with Keith Richards last week. It was great. But he had the interview he did with Kiss was great. But it's just like he's like an old yenta. He even calls himself an old yenta, like an old Jewish lady is what he calls himself. Here, Howard Stern he works 3 days a week, has a hot 50-year-old wife, millions of dollars, and he's just miserable. And it's like, I got to turn him off sometimes.
Well,
you went to that concert, and it reminds me of Paul. That's why they get along so well, because they're like the same guy.
Yeah, I'm just tired of the bitter Paul. I mean, there was pandemic Paul, but
evidently you won't have to worry about him much longer, because this is the end.
You know, the shout out Loudcast guys had pandemic Paul, and I'm calling pissy Paul now. I don't know. I'm just
pissy Paul.
Pissy Paul.
You're gonna get that trademark, Stevie.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. There'll be a T-shirt.
There's gonna be listen, people. There's gonna be another
thinking Stanley.
Yeah, they're gonna be somebody taking that up now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What about David Lee Roth? New song out. Did you see that?
No, I haven't heard it. Any good?
I have not heard it, but I'm looking through here. I was talking about the shit that killed Elvis. It's what it's called.
Donuts.
It's the latest track from his abandoned jukebox musical.
I checked out on David Lee Roth after Sensible Shoes. I just haven't. Or actually, I take that back. I'm a Sammy guy, but I like old Van Halen. But Sammy's still putting out good music, I think.
Yeah, Brian, I will make sure it's a real T-shirt, not a scam this time. I don't know how many of the On the Fly T-shirts got sold out there, but I know one got sold. Did I tell you about that?
No, what happened? I didn't get my residual check, Stevie.
I didn't either.
Yeah, you told me about that somebody made one up, right?
Yeah, but my buddy Brian from he's one of the guys from Brickshore Media. He bought it. We were getting ready to do a show with him, and he sends me a picture that day of the show of this T-shirt. And I'm like, wow, this guy's really going all out. He's got a T-shirt made for it and everything with On the Fly on it. He was like, I was like, cool. Where did you get that from? He said, I bought it from you. I was like,
what?
When? Because it was on Facebook. It was an ad on Facebook, no lie. And he said he couldn't be sure, but he said, I could have sworn the picture was a picture of you wearing that shirt. And wow. I was like, I can tell you, buddy, I've never seen that shirt.
That happened to me too. It happened to me last week, not for On the Fly, but I got a text from a friend of mine that somebody used my picture, granted.
Why would they want to do that to sell something?
I know, man. I mean, on Instagram, they had a whole different username and stuff, but they used my picture. And I'm like,
oh, yeah. Now that's happening a lot. That's happening. My uncle.
But my picture? Really?
Yeah.
My picture?
They made a fake Worden
I mean,
account. Don't lie.
You're a handsome, attractive man, but, hey, man, I don't know, man.
Look, you want to do a burner account, and then you just put your own picture up there like a stupid fool. I'm going to do a burner account, but guess what?
Own picture.
I'm going to put my own picture up here.
I'm flat, and it was like I'm flattered because I have 2 Instagram accounts, and I was like, well, you got hacked. I go, well, neither one of those are mine, but I reported it. And
yeah.
And of course, Instagram's like, what do you want to do? Block it? It's like, well, no, I want it reported.
I want it out. I don't want
But I got a friend of mine on TikTok. They did that to him. I reported it. And TikTok goes, we don't see any problem here. I was like, he used his picture. What the fudge?
There was that person that was selling the T-shirts, the On the Fly T-shirts. It came up again.
I need to buy me
about a month later. Dude, let me tell you, I clicked on the link. They had On the Fly everything. They had On the Fly coffee mugs. They had baby.
Hey, man, we're big in Bangladesh, bro.
Evidently, we're big somewhere, but we're just
not. The numbers out in Bangladesh.
Maybe they didn't. They knew the reunion tour was about to happen again. They wanted to get some before. Yeah. We just need to get.
They knew both of us would buy one.
we need to get inflatables of ourselves to put up before every show, but it's got to be
I got
anatomically
some
correct.
inflatables back here, but I don't want to show them on camera.
Oh no, we don't want to get into that.
You know, I'm single. You know, Steve.
Yeah, yeah. But just glancing through. It's a lot of talk about the Stones' new album, U2 playing.
I love it. It's great. I wish I could go to U2. I actually I wanted to go, but I'm not. I mean, $438. That's crazy, bro.
Mick Mars' debut solo music arriving this month.
I think it's got Karabi on it. That looks pretty cool.
That sounds cool. I'll tell
and
you,
it's under Motley's label, or what I heard, right? Warner Brothers or something like that.
I
I thought I heard somebody say it's under still Motley's label.
It might be. I don't know.
Maybe that was all dust up to get, no publicity is bad publicity.
Maybe it was.
You notice how that kind of died down after all of a sudden, right?
Yeah, you don't hear much about it. The only thing you hear out of Motley is how we can be so offensive, but we never get canceled. I think they wrote a song about that now. That's going to be one of the new songs. So there's, and then I think Nikki, Sharon called Nikki and Sharon Osbourne called Nikki an asshole and said he made up the story.
Yeah,
he made up the story about the snorting ants.
I think I always said he made up that story about dying. Come on. You do that, you do it again, you had nobody help you. I mean, I always thought that was
I don't know,
it's
dude.
a good story.
It might be. I mean, I don't know.
There are people that deny it.
Oh, really?
They have people in the dirt that deny it. There's like, I
don't know. It's a good story though.
Yeah. Bullshit, but
some of the albums I've been listening to, but let me tell you,
Carpenter's Christmas or what?
Yeah, Carpenter's Christmas. It would be better than this album I'm getting ready to talk about. You ever listen to any of the Moody Blues?
Yeah, I like Moody Blues.
The
Nights in White Satin.
The Other Side of Life album. Oh my God!
It sounds like a Monty Python song. The others, isn't that a Monty Python song?
I don't know. The only good song on there is Your Wildest Dreams. That was from the mid '80s. Yeah, that was a good song. But the rest of them, good Lord.
That's what I tried to do when I try to listen to Pink Floyd. It's just, I don't say it sucks. It's just not for me.
Yeah, I listened to a little bit of Bobby Brown's first album. Everybody
the Cherry Pie Girl?
No, not that Bobby Brown. the Bobby Brown Whitney Houston guy.
And you like New Edition. That's like one of your favorite bands.
Yeah,
what is it? The one with My Prerogative on it? Is
that no? This is the first one. There was one before that he did. Oh. It's called.
Obviously, it was full of hits because I've never heard of it.
What was his name?
The only two. He was like a 2-hit wonder. Didn't he have like My Prerogative and that?
My Prerogative.
That Ghostbusters song.
On Our Own.
Yeah.
He had that Roni song, Rock With You. Every Little Step, that was good.
Okay.
Yeah, he had more than two. I'm looking to see what the name, because King of the Stage is the name of that one. The first.
So what was wrong with the Moody Blues? What was wrong with it with you? You just didn't go anywhere, or
what? It's just not my like Austin Powers says, it's not my bag. It's
really put your hand in my pocket, grab onto my rocket lyrics. Is that what it was?
No. They should have thrown a few of that in there. Did you see the post I put up? The pictures of me and my brother when we were kids, and
I saw somebody was wearing a Texas hat. I was proud about that. You throw some pictures up. Somebody was wearing a Longhorns hat, so I was happy about that.
I don't know who that, but I had pictures of like a Easter one year when I got the elder, and I'm grinning from ear to ear. And Tom said, "You obviously smiling because you haven't listened to it yet." And I said,
exactly.
I said I may be laughing because Just a Boy was playing in the background, but and then I had even younger. Both of us. One of us had Destroyer, and one of us had Alive, the first Alive. And but yeah, it was, I was like,
I'm sorry. I'll say this right now.
Oh God.
I'll say this right now.
He's gonna say it.
I think Destroyer's great. I don't think it's overrated. It's
not overrated.
You look at the set list that doesn't change. Most of the songs are from that. And I think Alive is better than Alive 2. Alive 2 is so manufactured, it's not even funny. Alive 1 is manufactured, but in a cool way.
Yeah.
It's believable. Like
Yeah.
I remember you remember Z-Rock back in the day? They played some song off Alive 2 and it goes, dude, I was at the forum that night. There weren't that many people there. But Alive seems more realistic. Alive 2 is like the greatest. I saw that commercial, the greatest music ever recorded in the history of mankind. I mean, it's like,
what about Hard Luck Woman though? When was that played live?
it was over the sound check they were doing.
It may have been.
I think I Stole Your Love's good. I think that's a good version.
Well, you
I
can
think
hear.
I think God of Thunder. That's the best version of God of Thunder.
Yes.
Because Peter
You can
just
hear the explosion
beast on
going
that.
off before I Stole Your Love. You can
Peter
hear
Chris that's when he peaked, dude. And he's like, after that, You Matter to Me came out and it was over. Which I like that song, by the way.
Hey, yeah. So now that we've got the
Kiss references, we always have to do.
well, not just Kiss reference. We talked a little bit about other stuff. I mean,
Speaking of Kiss, if you haven't bought this book yet,
yes, Martin
get it.
Popoff.
And and what you need to do, I bought this, and then the episode with him on Shout Loud came out. It's a great reference. I found out he did a Sabbath book, he did a Zeppelin book, and he did a AC/DC book. And there's a Van Halen book coming out next year, which I'm going to get.
Yeah,
so I'm going to get all of them.
You listen to the interview. He's a very knowledgeable guy. That was an excellent episode. The last excuse me, the last two, Craig Gass, man, whoa, dude, he killed me. I was on the way somewhere in the car listening to it, and then when he started talking about the Lars Ulrich story, and he did the Lars voice, I was like,
I'm gonna get James to come out and.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Is this seriously him? And I was like, oh gosh, I would love to have seen his face when all that. We got Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons in here. Lars, you know everybody steals from Kiss, and how he compared something death of Gene. He made it like they stole the idea of some song on Saint Anger, I think it was. What he was talking about. And it was the end of it was death. Death rhymes with Beth. So we know you stole that from me. Yeah, okay. That was pretty. Is he serious? You can hear him.
I like the Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Kiss. No, it's Gene Simmons from all those movies in the 70s.
That's Gene Simmons, dude. She was like class. That's where he got the name from, that old actress.
Wasn't she in that movie Dressed to Kill though?
I don't know, but she was in a movie. She was in a movie with Patrick Swayze back in the early 80s called North and South, about how it took place in Charleston. It was about a friend, Patrick Swayze and his buddy. They were met at West Point, and then the Civil War broke out. And every time it's Gene Simmons, yeah, Gene, God of Thunder. Nobody else got it.
No, she wasn't in that Dressed to Kill movie.
Oh, that's a good idea, Dressed to Kill. But she spelled it Gean. J-A-E.
And then there was the one that did the
Jumping Gene Simmons.
Yeah, Jumping Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we got
our Gene Simmons is probably jumping when he got crabs down in Mexico, and that story they said that happened to him. They all got the clap or something like that. They said there's some story goes out that I heard a long time ago. Don't know if it's true or not. Don't quote me on that.
Don't quote me.
But he was probably jumping after that little bit.
I'm sure he was. So let's get to the main event.
Ding, 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 ding. Let's get ready to rumble.
Bands that start with the letter A. Our top 5 favorite.
Oh, wow. Look at my shirt, Stevie. I never would.
I wonder who your favorite's going to be.
Well, not favorite. We're not in any order, right?
We don't have to go in order. Whatever you just 5 that you like. Top 5.
Well, I actually broke the rules a little bit.
What'd you do? What did you do?
Well, 2 of the bands on my list are 2 of my favorite bands. And they're both kind of different bands after a certain time. So there's 2 for each of these 2. Does that make sense?
We'll see. We'll see when we get there, I guess. No,
Think of 80s Kiss and classic Kiss.
I
I
got
gotta pick. I gotta pick one from each era. It's not Kiss because Kiss is
so it's gonna be. I know who it's gonna be then.
well. There's 2 of them on there, so I have 7 songs. But but
Seven.
plus I did a honorable mention
Yeah.
for like one song for each of them after, so we can talk about that after.
All right.
You
So
go
you're-
first, Steve.
Huh?
Age. You go first.
Don't say age before beauty.
I know.
All
I
right.
know. I'm a year older. Happy 50th birthday, by the way, Stevie. I saw that was a
bud.
couple
Thanks,
weeks ago.
bud. Yep. 50. Been 54.
Did you get the colonoscopy yet? Best sleep you ever have. I guarantee you that.
I'm only 8
Yeah.
days into 50.
Best sleep you ever have. I tell you that, man. You just like go to sleep and wake up. It's great, dude.
So my number 5, and let's get this straight. When we talk about artists, we go across all genres, whatever. It's not just rock. It could be country. It could be whatever.
Polka.
Weird Al. No, that doesn't start with an A.
That's a future episode. W.
My number 5 is country music, and I think you know who I'm talking about. Founded in 1969, Mr. Randy Owen, Alabama. Loved Alabama. I mean, you think about it, these guys sold 75 million albums. And I mean, over their career, they were still putting hits out in the 90s when I guess they had kind of went through a dry spell and then they had a resurrection a little bit. But yeah, Alabama is my number 5. And the song I would pick from there, it's a popular song that, believe it or not, they have like a homecoming at the football game here. And at the dances, I would stick around a little bit after that. I wouldn't go out there and dance. I didn't want to show them up. But one of the songs that they played and these kids really got into it was Dixieland Delight.
Mm.
So if you haven't heard Dixieland Delight, you need to check it out. But,
My dollar.
yeah.
Okay.
Your dollar.
Well, Alabama, the band that could teach Van Halen on how to erase a member in the band.
Oh, yeah.
That drummer, they act like he never existed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the guitar player just recently died, and they continued because they were supposed to play the rodeo here last year. And yeah, we have rodeos in Texas. Go figure. And they still played. And I was like, wow, how can they go without him? My number 5, Stevie, is Alabama as well.
Oh, wow.
I was a little redneck growing up. I grew up in Missouri. Wanted to be a truck driver because roll on highway, roll on. But I remember Alabama was like my first favorite band. I mean, this was like early 80s, right around Mountain Music came out. You see that mountain over there? One of these days I'm gonna climb that mountain. My song is on the same album, actually, The Closer You Get, and it is the title track, Closer You Get.
Yeah.
I think this is my gateway to rock because that Alabama has totally went from like Mountain Music to Closer You Get. They totally, for lack of a better term, sold out. I mean, they knew their audience and it was more rock at that time because everything like the 80s had the guitar to it. But Closer You Get had that guitar intro. I mean, I love that. I love Dixieland is Light. Closer You Get, Mountain Music still my favorite, but yeah, Closer You Get. That was like my gateway to rock.
Yeah. Brian's talking about his wife Annie, who is a Brickshore media artist. He was like, "Glad you didn't make me do this. I would have missed Annie and got in trouble again." One of the episodes we did was his top 5 albums or something like that, and he didn't put his wife in there, so he was catching it. I saved him though. I saved him that night though. All right. So my number 4, and like I said, I'm going across all genres tonight. It's going to be a little bit of everything. And this band is one that I discovered back in the early 80s. And believe it or not, my daughter is like a huge, huge fan of this group now. And they did, there's been a couple of movies that that uses a lot of their music, and one of their big tracks, probably what everybody knows them at, is not what I'm gonna be using tonight as far as, but my number 4 is ABBA. I love the ABBA, man, and the song, I'll tell you, it's kind of nostalgic for me. The Winner Takes It All is the song that but back whenever that came out in the early 80s, you had, yourself, we're about the same age. You had a lot of record stores back in those days, a lot more than you do now.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I mean, they were closer. I remember my dad carrying me and my brother to one. There was a little town probably about 15 minutes from here, and the little 45 records. He said, okay. He told me, he said, you can get 2 45s, whichever you want. And I want to say, I can't remember the other one, but I got The Winner Take It All by ABBA for some reason. I don't know why I got it, but I had to have it. And that song has stuck with me all through the years. But yeah, ABBA, I mean, Mamma Mia, the two movies, there was this Mamma Mia 1 and 2. My
Two are
daughter,
two of your favorites.
yeah. It's not that bad. I mean, I've watched them enough. Look, my daughter knows that.
You have a daughter and a wife, you have an excuse.
Yeah, front and back, frontwards and backwards. She knows it. But yeah, ABBA is my number 4.
ABBA is not on my list, but there's a version. There is a version of I like disco though. I like ABBA, but
Dancing Queen.
I actually didn't even think. No, it's SOS.
Yeah,
Jericho. Fozzy does a cover of that. It's pretty good. I like it. Have you heard it?
I think it's been a while, but I think I did hear
SOS, because he used to play it on his podcast a lot, so it's pretty good.
See, Jericho likes that kind of music too.
Oh, I like ABBA. They just not on my list.
Right. Okay. Who's your number 4?
My number 4 is a band that I discovered in the late 80s. They're a rock band, so I'm going from country to rock. This song may not be known by a lot of the hardcore fans, because I think there was kind of a rebellion when they did this album with a different singer in the mid 90s. I think they were they weren't really trying to do the thrash thing anymore. They were trying to do more kind of hard rock. I think it's one of their best albums. It's one of the few albums that I've listened, like almost every song on the album. But there is a video. It was a single, but this is an album that I think should have been huge, especially for the time. And that's Anthrax with Black Lodge with John Bush.
John Bush. All right, I knew you.
Sound of White Noise, great album. Only's a great single as well. I like Anthrax. They're the fun band, but this is serious Anthrax. And it's a crime that it didn't, because I mean, John Bush is a great singer. I mean, it's just too bad it didn't. And I think still going? I think there's he's going to do a tour where he's kind of like what Karabi's doing with the Motley self-titled. Right. He's doing that album, and if he comes by, I'd like to go see it. But I remember seeing Only and thinking, wow, it's kind of weird. There's Scott Ian, and then because I remember Anthrax, they were doing Got the Time, Antisocial, fun stuff,
Yeah,
Bring the Noise.
I'm the
man.
man.
This was some serious shit with Black Lodge, man. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
And I this is the one album I got by Columbia House, because I sent it back in time. And I had kind of checked out on rock a lot. I was more into kind of pop music in the mid 90s. I was tired of the grunge thing.
Lord.
But this one helped out. This one helped out a lot, man. This one kind of got me back into rock.
Yeah, Bush is definitely got one of those voices that's I like his voice, and I have listened to that album. But Anthrax not on my list, but they did make my honorable mention. So I'll go along with you there. All right. Number 3. And I guess I've had a little fatigue with I had a little fatigue with this band, especially their stuff in the early to mid 90s. But I've started to enjoy the older stuff a lot more than I do a lot more than I do the 90s stuff. But Aerosmith is my number 3. there's two songs that I'm going to put on this list.
Did the same thing I did.
Sweet Emotion and Back in the Saddle Again. Back in the Saddle Again, I remember when I heard it the first time, I wasn't really a big fan. I was like, but the more I listened to it, the more I liked it.
How'd that go again?
Like that. Yeah. But yeah, Back in the
make that
Saddle
my
Again. Sweet Emotion.
ringtone.
Huh?
Make that my ringtone.
Yeah. But yeah, I look, they were all over the place in the early to mid '90s. To the fact that the only reason I really enjoyed some of their stuff was because Alicia Silverstone was in the video. But
Not a Liv Tyler fan?
Liv Tyler too. I mean, yeah. Sweet
I don't know.
I don't know who that is.
I'd look at her and I'd be like, damn. I'm looking at Steven. Am I sexually attracted to Steven Tyler? It looks just like her dad.
She looks a lot better than Steven. Yeah.
Oh, the sweet emotion where the girl's talking to the guy and she turns to be a big old woman with kids.
Yeah. That's pretty good. But Sweet Emotion, and I don't know who this Facebook user is. Sweet Emotion is his favorite song by Aerosmith. I think they might be using the voice to text thing.
Sweet Emotion's pretty good. That's actually how I think it was Joey Kramer came up with that name, and that's how it was spelled in the beginning. And he came up with the name Aerosmith because it was like off some literature book or something like that. I think.
I didn't know if
there's your little bit of Aerosmith knowledge.
They were going to be like in that movie, That Thing You Do, The Oneaters. You ever seen That Thing You Do?
With Tom Hanks? No, yeah. I haven't. And Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler was in that movie. Yes. If you have not seen that movie, that is something you need to watch.
Is that a good one? Yeah, my buddies also told me I need to see that new one by Tom Hanks. He plays that old guy that's all crabby and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh,
I know what you're talking about. I watched that. That is a good movie. Yes.
But Tom Hanks is good at anything he does. I have to check out that one too. It's The Thing You Do.
It's Matthew, my co-host on the Final Score. It's Matthew, and he said, "Yeah, my voice to text sucks."
Hey, but good choice, man. Aerosmith rocks.
Yeah, really.
My number 3 is a band I saw a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't the headliner. It wasn't the headliner. This band, when I saw Ozzy, was opening up for them after Blind Melon. The bass player at the time came and bummed a cigarette from me. I thought he was a roadie because he had press passes on. It was Mike Starr from Alice in Chains. And there is a song, everybody calls Alice in Chains grunge, but I don't know how you can't listen to Man in the Box. And also, my song that I'm picking is Damn That River. That is, every time I hear that song, that shows Alice in Chains was more metal. I think they were more metal. But they're the ones before Nirvana that kind of kicked off the alternative grunge thing, I think, even though they were a hair band a few years before. Alice in Chains, I know Lane's gone. I know Mike Starr's gone. But my God, that new guy. He's been in the band 10 years.
Yeah, he's been around.
God, I mean, if you didn't think a band was lip syncing, they're great. And you forget how great Jerry Cantrell is too.
Oh gosh.
But I mean, like all of us, a little bit thicker. But Damn That River, that's the song. If you had to listen to one Alice in Chains song, I'd recommend is Damn That River. You know the song, Stevie?
No, I don't. I will check it out.
Damn That River.
Damn That River. I'm gonna check it out. I think Warden's redeemed himself with Alice in Chains. So, and Matt saying Alice in Chains is my top band. William is great. Seen them in concert too. So
they were great. Open up for Guns N' Roses, man. I mean, that was God. It was great. I mean, I've seen them twice. I've seen them twice, man. And it's just, I saw them with Lane and Mike Starr back with Ozzy in '93. And then I saw them here, and time stands still a lot of times. Guns N' Roses time stood still. It's amazing. We're all older, but it's just, you hear that certain song.
Yeah.
And it's just like when I heard Wood, it's like, wow, it's just crazy.
And I hadn't listened to a lot of them after Lane, but that guy sounds a lot like Lane. Really. It's kind of like Journey with that Arnell. Okay, somebody saying seen Alice in Chains with Anthrax, Megadeth, and Slayer. My first concert. Wow.
Oh, that was the Clash of the Titans tour. That was a chance. I had to go. I had a chance to go to that, but my senior prom was that night. I ended up not going to either one of them, so I missed out on both.
Wow. Idiot. Idiot.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I should have gone to that one.
All right. So we're down to number 2. Number 2 is a band that it's a spinoff of another band that was was big in the early 2000s, I guess, mid
Oh,
late
okay.
90s.
I know you're talking about.
And they had a little problem with their lead singer, but they found a big time upgrade. And I'm talking about this guy's got one of the best.
You think he's better than the other guy you're talking about?
If we're thinking the same one, yeah, I do
Does
definitely.
this have anything to do with a certain Texas team in the World Series?
I don't think
Okay.
so.
Okay.
I think we're
What
thinking
about
of 2 different people.
what about Edge, the wrestler?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and we're talking about Alter Bridge. Alter Bridge. Miles Kennedy. I'm going to tell you this. It's something about that guy's voice. And no offense to Scott Stapp, but Miles Kennedy's voice has got, I don't know. And I'm not saying, just like you said with Dokken a while ago, I'm more of a fan of Miles Kennedy than I am of Scott Stapp, in which Creed is doing the reunion tour now with, I guess they're going on all these cruises now, the cruise reunion tour. I did see on TikTok the other day, Creed did a TikTok and it showed the other 3 guys in like a room, get ready, looked like they were getting ready to rehearse. And here comes Scott Stapp walking in, and he's like, "Hello, my friends, we meet again." And he's doing lyrics from the Creed song, and they're like looking at him like, "What the heck?" But anyway, yeah, that was. But Creed, no, Ultra Bridge is the band I'm talking about, but definitely, definitely Metalingus, which is Edge's theme song,
Which
is
he's using in AEW because which is
yeah,
pretty badass.
he actually went to them. He's really good
He's
friends with
buddies
him.
with yeah.
And he went to them and asked them if he could do it. You know who's doing the You Think You Know Me at the start of it though?
Hmm.
His wife, Beth Phoenix, is doing
Okay.
she's the voice at the start of it. So, and that's another thing too. Edge to AEW, man. What do you? I mean,
I think it's great because I
I do
think him and
too.
Christian need to finish it up because Christian is a hell of a heel. I don't
Yeah,
watch AEW that much, but he's kind of like Jericho. He's a better heel than he is a good guy. It's just
they need to finish it up together though.
yeah. That's I mean I think, but you see what AEW is doing is they're actually pushing their talent. They're not like bringing Brock Lesnar back and now John Cena to make them headline. They're using those guys to push the younger guys, which is how
Yeah,
AEW should be.
and another thing too. Sting announces his retirement coming up, and that's going to be something that Sting's always been one of my favorites. But man, and we'll talk. You're going to see on the fly. We're going to talk a little bit about that before we go when we finish up about how we're going to branch off a little bit and have a little bit more wrestling in an episode or 2 here coming up soon. But yeah, Ultra
Well,
Bridge is my number 2.
I was talking about Creed is because evidently the Texas Rangers have been playing Creed.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and I have a buddy of mine that Creed's like his favorite band of all time. He doesn't like Alter Bridge, and it's like, man, Alter Bridge is better than Creed, in my opinion.
I agree.
And Creed's a little too religious for me. They get a little too deep,
You want to?
I kind of like live aspect on religion when I do Creeds, but yeah, they've been playing Creed, but to them, these guys are so young. The Creed's like classic rock to them. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but it's been working.
It's kind of like when the St. Louis Blues a while back, a few years back, their theme song when they won the Stanley Cup and it led them to the Stanley Cup was "Gloria" by Laura Branigan, and they would play that every night. And they even got to where if you want to go back and a past episode, listen to the legacy manager for Laura Branigan. Her name is Kathy Golick. I did an interview with her, and she tells the whole story. They brought her to the Stanley Cup, gave her a Blues jersey with Brannigan on the back
Oh,
of
that's
it.
awesome.
She goes back, and she goes back from time to time too, which is pretty cool. That they heard it in a bar one night. They went to a bar one night and heard Glory, and they were like, "What's this song?" And it just became a thing. Of all
They probably didn't
songs,
know what it was because they were kids.
yeah, of all
Kids are like
songs,
26.
Gloria. I mean, that's just amazing. But
You
yeah,
know,
power of music, bud.
talking about the Texas Rangers. I've been, I'm a baseball freak. I love baseball.
Yeah,
I'm a National League guy, so I like the. I mean, it's weird. I like the Philadelphia Eagles. I like the Phillies. I like Bryce Harper, but I kind of like Arizona.
you didn't say you like the Philadelphia Eagles.
No, Philadelphia Phillies. There's a
You
big
said
difference.
Eagles first.
I said I don't like the Eagles.
Oh, okay. I was getting ready to
That's right.
say.
But it looks like Jason Kelsey was there, and it looks like he brought the same amount of luck Dak Prescott did the Texas Rangers
Yeah,
the other night. But I've been watching and I have a love-hate relationship with the Astros because I'm a St. Louis Cardinals fan, and I remember when Dusty Baker pitched he worked for the Cubs, he worked for the Giants. Him and
Yeah.
Tony Russo didn't like each other. But that Garcia guy that hit all these home runs, St. Louis passed on him. And that pitcher Montgomery, guess where he came from? We gave up those two guys for cash. This is why the Cardinals need to sell and get somebody more minded, but it won't happen. But that's my little baseball trick.
right.
Number 2 for me.
Hold on just one second before there. And I don't know what it is with StreamYard sometimes, but there are comments. If you see me looking over, I've been trying to see if there was other comments coming in, and yeah, Steve Wright agreed with you. Dream Warrior sucks. He said he'd rather see Gene live solo when they are done. And then Robert Myers from Right Between the Eyes podcast, another great podcast,
Yeah.
Kiss podcast. I just listened to their Psycho Circus album review today. Great stuff. If you get a chance, guys, check out Right Between the Eyes. But he said,
I give you my review. There's only one good song on Psycho Circus, and that's Within.
That's not what they were saying, though.
That's my opinion. Within's the only good song on that album.
Your opinion. But
which ain't worth nothing.
Robert was talking about the shirt deal. He was like, "That's nuts. Not even your shirt." Wow. And I contacted that person that did it. I never got a response back, but I did contact that person.
That explains the $30,000 check I got the other day. Okay, yeah, never mind.
Oh, went to the wrong person. Okay, let's get your number 2. Sorry about that.
My number 2 is my shirt.
Wow.
AC/DC. One of my favorite bands of all time.
Wow. Who is number
when
1?
when I was younger, I was more of a Brian fan because I got into the band. I'm still a Brian fan. Read his book. It's good, by the way. But as I get older, I embrace Bon more. Well, I was out there mowing the weeds a couple weeks ago, and I had a Apple Music on, and a song came up that I had forgotten about from Bon. It was off the European Power Age album, but it was also on the Iron Man soundtrack, so that's why it came on.
Right.
It was like some kind of box set. Cold Hearted Man. That is just an evil sounding great song. Bon at his best, came out in 79, probably around the time he died. Just, till the end, Bon was great. And like I said, I've always been a team Brian, but I had to pick a Bon song because I've respected Bon. I've got to appreciate his voice more as I have gotten older. So that's Cold Hearted Man by Bon. That's my Power Age. But I had to pick a Brian song. Okay. And I will never apologize for this song because it's probably my favorite AC/DC song. We've talked about this before when we did our AC/DC list. Off my favorite AC/DC album. It's a song I never get tired of. And it was also on an Iron Man soundtrack. And I know people that are younger than us, imagine that. They love that song because AC/DC is timeless.
Yeah.
They're just something that if you like hip hop, if you like country, you can get into AC/DC. And that's Shoot the Thrill. One of probably my top 5 greatest songs. I mean, if somebody didn't know AC/DC from Adam, I would pay Shoot the Thrill. It's just, I mean, I've never gotten tired of it. It's just, and the whole Back in Black album. I mean, Mutt Lange's a goddamn genius, if you ask me.
Oh,
Because you look at AC/DC, you look at Def Leppard, you look at Shania. Since he don't mess with them anymore, you don't really hear from him anymore. Their shit's not as good without him.
Yep. And you know what? And I don't want any AC/DC fans, because I am one, to take it the wrong way. But somehow AC/DC gets by with every album having the same sound, and every song is like the same sound. You know, some are different, but most of the time it's the basic stuff, and it works. It works for them. But they get by with it. I mean, look at how many albums they've sold.
They're kind of like the heavy metal Stones. They're kind of,
yeah. I mean,
but I like that because we've had the top 10 guitar players,
yeah.
and Angus and Keith Richards were my 2 favorite because there's just something about that sound that it draws me to it. And I know, yeah, and it's funny, you can listen to I've listened to more Bond now, and I'll hear a Brian song later on. I go, damn, that sounds like a Bond song. I mean, it's just recycling is what it is. I agree totally.
Exactly.
And AC/DC is in my top 5. I love AC/DC.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm wondering who your number 1 is, or if you're breaking the rules.
You know who my number 1 is. You know it.
Yeah.
It's also in my top 5, but you know me.
All right, my number 1, and it's the band you just talked about, AC/DC. I mean, I remember being scared to death of AC/DC as a kid. I wasn't scared of Kiss, but scared of AC/DC just because that.
And Rod Stewart and his white pants.
Yeah,
your mom.
Stewart. I wasn't allowed to listen to Rod Stewart.
I love that story.
But I could listen to Kiss talk. I've said it.
God of Thunder, Plaster
God of
Caster,
Thunder, and
Plaster Caster.
Put your hand in my pocket, grab hold to my rocket. I mean, that was okay, but Do You Think I'm Sexy is not. But yeah, AC/DC, man. I mean, you said it. They're still going. Did you see Angus the other day show up at that little club?
God, he looks old.
Well, I mean, he is old, dude.
I know, but he looks older. Who was it? Somebody was talking about them. I think it was Axl. Somebody was talking about AC/DC. It's like they don't party. They just sit around smoking and drinking a lot of tea.
Yeah. He's 68 years old, dude.
Yeah, but he looks it, dude.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the guy has done some stuff over the years. But
smoking doesn't help. And losing your brother like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to take a toll on you, too.
But they're supposed to tour. I got to go to that, man. I've seen them one time. And the last time I saw him, Stevie, the day before the Cowboys won their last Super Bowl against
who? Oh gosh, that's been almost.
It's been too long.
30 years now.
It's been too long.
Yeah, y'all beat the Steelers. Neil O'Donnell gave you guys that Super Bowl.
Norm Macdonald too.
There's still oil wells that Neil O'Donnell owns in Dallas. Somehow, I don't know how he got in the oil business all of a sudden after 1995, but anyway.
Well, after that performance, he deserves.
He needs to do something.
I'll take what I can get. Yeah, damn it.
He needs to do something besides play quarterback. That's for sure. But yeah, Back in Black. I got 2 songs. Back in Black is just one of my favorite AC/DC songs. Excuse me. And then there's a song, I think it's off the Razor's Edge, called Two's Up. Mm-hmm. I love that AC/DC song. It was one, it was one that I had the cassette, and I was listening to it at a basketball game one night. I had my Walkman on, and I was listening. I was like, "Oh, this song's pretty good." So, yeah, Two's Up and Back in Black for me. That's my number 1. All right, Worden.
I got to say one thing about the Razor's Edge. Thunderstruck, yeah, it's overplayed. It's at the album, but that is one of Angus's best solos. That's just, and you hear Brian. We went down to Texas.
Okay, I mean, somebody just strangled a chipmunk right then. I don't know.
Yeah, the chipmunk was on his last leg. So, all right, we are going to do my number 1, and I am going to bring out. I was at a record convention a couple months ago, and I was going through the bin. You saw my stuff. I don't really a vinyl collector. I'm more like the artwork and stuff.
Yeah.
But I saw this album. It's my favorite album by this artist. And I think the only song that nobody ever talks about is the song I picked. I love this song. I remember entering in a contest. Remember Metal Edge back in the day?
Yeah.
You had to like write a postcard.
Yeah.
The guitarist and singer were on the band. And you had to like write your favorite song. I didn't win, by the way, But this is my favorite album by this band. But this band is two distinct bands. And that's Get Your Wings by Aerosmith. My song, I don't know if you ever heard this, but when I became an Aerosmith fan was kind of by the time, a little bit after Kiss, because I had, read, the magazines and stuff. And I heard about Dream On and all that stuff. My first car wreck was Dream On was playing. So that means something to me. I didn't die.
Yeah.
But my favorite song, you got, this is like Sing Old Song and Dance, Lord of the Thighs, Woman of the World. But my favorite song, I remember listening to this. I was washing my first car. And this song, it's about space travel. It's about space. I'm the last man to survive. It's about traveling. This song tells a story. And I had bought, I think, this and Permanent Vacation because Permanent Vacation was out at the time.
Right.
But when Space came out, that's like my favorite old school Aerosmith song. And you look at this, I remember seeing Steven Tyler was saying, yeah, there are a lot of lewds in this scarf he was wearing. I bet there were. But I saw this for like 50 cents. And I go, I got to put that on my wall. Space.
Yeah.
My favorite old school Aerosmith song.
Okay.
But I'm doing another song as well because, we got to be different. I heard this song. It was back in the probably early 2000s when I was a huge, I still love the Doors. And a coworker of mine bought me the Doors album. Like it was the Immaculate, I think Stone Temple Pilots on it. A couple other people were on it. But it's like a Doors tribute album with a lot of bands.
Uh-huh.
There was a song on there I had never heard before. And I was a huge Aerosmith fan at the time. And that was their version of Love Me Two Times. You can't get that. Used to be on streaming, but they don't have it on streaming anymore. I guess it's a rights issue. But I actually bought the gold compilation from Aerosmith because I could burn it to my phone.
All right.
But it was on the movie back in the 80s with Mel Gibson and Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. Air America, I thought it was called.
Yeah, Air America.
But it was Love Me Two Times by Aerosmith. Great. Maybe better as good as the cover, in my opinion. But, I love all things Aerosmith, but that would have to be Spaced and Love Me Two Times. Like I said, I don't buy physical CDs anymore because everything's streaming. But every once in a while, there's something that's not on streaming. You got to buy the CD, and thank God for Amazon. So
yeah. I kind of figured who your number one was, but I just want to give you a little crap. So Love Me Two Times,
and
I'm gonna see if it's on YouTube.
It's got good because it's got harmonica and everything. It's a good version, but it was on. Yeah. And Spaced,
it's on YouTube.
And Spaced, I've looked it up. They've never played it live.
Yeah.
It's like Mr. Speed. They've never played, and like they talk about every other song on that album, which is a great album. My favorite old school Aerosmith song, but they never talk about Spaced, and I love Spaced.
They have an acoustic version up here of Aerosmith singing "Love Me Two Times."
Oh, it was on a MTV.
Unplugged.
I think it was on Unplugged. Yeah.
So we'll go back over our list, and Worden had Alabama at number 5, and I did as well. He went with Anthrax next at number 4, and I had them as honorable mention. I had ABBA at number 4. Aerosmith was my number 3, and Warden's was Alice in Chains. Number 2 was AC/DC for Worden. Number 2 for me was Ultra Bridge, and then number 1 for me, AC/DC, and number 1 for him, Aerosmith. So, honorable mentions. What you got?
Okay, for Alabama, what every country song's about, an old flame burning. You think about it,
a truck, man.
There's an old flame burning, like, oh, we're together, but you still like that old guy. Almost every country song's about that. For Anthrax only, I mentioned before, If Sound of White Noise, great album. Check it out. It's a good album. Alice in Chains, Sea of Sorrow. Just they got a video for it where Lane's like in all this blood, or it's in black and white. I guess they couldn't show the blood. Sea of Sorrow. I'm gonna do a hit for AC/DC because I think it's a great song. It's not as I think it's one of their best. They close the out songs shows with it. For those about to rock, still gets to me. It just a kick. If you didn't know AC/DC, you could put that up there and you would be hooked. And Aerosmith, I'd have to go new school on that. I'm not picking two, but one of Aerosmith's best songs they've ever done wasn't a single. It's called Fine Fine off Pump, which is Aerosmith's best album. I want to say Out of Makeup, but best like
Out of
80s,
Makeup,
90s
yeah.
song, yeah.
Yeah, Fine Fine. I remember a friend of mine when that was on that album. He was like, "That's the song," and he thought it was What It Takes because on What It Takes, I was Fine Fine.
Yeah.
He's like, "That's the song." I said, "Play it." I guarantee you, that's not the song you're talking about.
Aerosmith did something back in the 90s that was really 80s, 90s was really good. Is they did like a recording of Pump that they put on video, and you can see them playing it. And
Yeah,
I think there's a version of What It Takes is doing that.
yeah.
But man, I mean, people rag on Aerosmith like new Aerosmith, and I get that stuff around like 9 Lives and stuff like that. I kind of get that, but Permanent Vacation, Pump and Get a Grip, man, those are I love those, but I love the 70s stuff too.
Yeah. I mean, like what was that song you just said?
What It Takes.
Yeah, I love What It Takes. I never
Have you seen the
country
the one they shot in Dallas?
Yeah.
They're all wearing cowboy hats and stuff. There's a fight. Yeah,
the country version. I've seen it. But yeah, as far as I didn't do songs like honorable mention, I did bands.
Oh, that's cool.
But Anthrax was on my list. And then I'm going to throw out one that you probably, like I said, we go across all genres. And this was like they were a 2-hit wonder. You remember the band Another Bad Creation?
Mm-mm.
You don't remember Another Bad Creation? They were like a kid. They were kids, but they were like a rap group.
Oh, no.
They did Aisha. You remember that song Aisha? Holy crap. They must not have played that much out your way.
You forget where I'm from.
Yeah, Aisha, and then at the playground. Yeah, I had that cassette. It was actually the guy from New Edition, Michael Bivins.
Oh, there you go. That's why, because they're one of your favorites. I get that.
You've heard the story about Boys II Men got discovered by him, and he started his own.
Bell Biv DeVoe?
Huh?
Was he in Bell Biv DeVoe?
Yeah, Biv. He's Bivins.
Okay.
But yeah, he started his own record label,
and
he started after he got Boys II Men. I think he said, "Well, I'm going to try this one," and then he did Another Bad Creation, which they didn't. I forgot what there was a movie they were actually in. I can't remember what it was now, but it was like a big. I mean, they were like some of them were probably 10 or 11 years old, maybe, and I think they ranged up into the. Let me see if I'm gonna try to find out what movie they were in. So they didn't last long. From 88 to 93, and then they came back in 2007. But after that first album, they didn't do much. But it don't say. I know they were in a movie. Meteor Man. You ever seen the movie Meteor Man? I don't know if you remember.
Eddie Murphy was in that movie?
No, it was Robert Townsend. You know the guy that was in.
Who?
No, the guy that was on. You ever see I'm Going to Get You, Sucker?
Oh yeah,
the guy
years
that was
ago.
Yeah, there was a bunch of like.
Is that I'm Going to Get You, Sucker? Is that like a Naked Gun type airplane type thing?
Something like that.
I've always heard about it. I've never seen it.
Meteor Man, he played like a superhero, and I mean this had like supporting cast. Listen to this support cast. Um, Marla Gibbs, of course, Florence,
Florence,
and
the only one still alive.
Eddie Griffin, Robert Guillaume from Benson, James Earl Jones, who's Darth Vader, Bill Cosby, okay, another bad creation. Also, Luther Vandross, Sinbad, Naughty by Nature, Cypress Hill, and Big Daddy Kane. So I mean, it was a lot of people in that movie,
As long
and it
as
was okay.
Bill,
It was okay.
as long as Bill Cosby wasn't serving the drinks.
Oh my gosh! Let me tell you. Did you see? I didn't even put it together until I saw it on TikTok the other day. Somebody was talking about it when Saturday Night Live did their anniversary, and they did the Celebrity Jeopardy. There was a daily double, the video daily double. It was under potables. And the video came up there. And it was Keenan was doing Bill Cosby, and he was like, "Oh, this is the cocktail I'm going to mix up for you." And then all of a sudden, Will Ferrell was playing. The host. He was like, "No, wait a minute. With
Alex
that,
Trebek.
how
Alex
did that
Trebek.
get it here? That didn't get it here. That was before all this happened." So I was like,
The thing about Bill Cosby, dude, is you ever watch the Cosby Show or the Fat Albert? Man, he would sit there and he would give you like a life lesson.
yes."
He
And
was
then-
like he was a bridge between like white and black use.
Yeah.
Like we're all the same. No, and he would they would have a story that meant something. And he's out there freaking allegedly,
reaping.
yeah. But I remember my late grandmother, this is like in the mid 2000s. And I remember watching the Cosby Show in the 80s and stuff. And I thought Bill Cosby was great.
Oh,
And then she told me about that before it was like we had Google or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I had to go and Yahoo it, before we Google, of course. And I looked it up. I was like, holy crap. She told me, oh, yeah, he's got this reputation. I'm like, really? And then that comedian said it, and that's what brought everything back. But I didn't know that. Bill Cosby was great back in the day.
Back in
the
back in the 80s when the Cosby Show came out, that guy was all over the place. I mean, he was doing everything, movies. He started
Ghost Dad. Remember that classic?
Yeah, Ghost Dad. Yeah, I'll waste. That's about an hour and a half of my life I will never get back again. But I mean, the Cosby Show. I still love watching the Cosby. I watched a little bit the other day. I mean, it was a good show. But now looking at it and seeing some of the cringe moments up there, yeah.
But that's anything though. That's not just him, but it's just like
still just thinking about
that's the way we used to look at stuff. But these people, some of these people are smarter than we are, Steve. They got to take it away from us because we can't think for ourselves.
That's true.
I got an honorable mention.
Okay.
We both say we love AC/DC. If you like AC/DC and that kind of hard rock stuff, there's a band that almost made my list. They're called Airborne. They are like an AC/DC band. If you think Bon Scott or Brian Johnson is like extreme about singing, if you like the guitar stuff, Airborne, they're pretty good. So I would suggest them. And on the flip side, Ambrosia, How You Make Me Feel. That always comes up on his thing. I love Ambrosia. That's some 80s rock, bro.
Yes. What about America? Riding on the desert with a
I never
horse.
thought about America.
Yeah.
I was going to take my mom to see them. She loves America. She's like, oh, you do that for me? It's like, well, I kind of like them too, and COVID hit. And like, damn it.
Can you imagine when they're trying to come up with a name? What we're going to call it? Oh, somebody probably just say, hey, just call something America.
They're always accused of being an Eagles, like when the Eagles got big, that like they had all these bands, but
yeah.
I like them. I mean, America's great.
There's some songs I like, and Ambrosia. I hadn't thought about them in a while, but they.
You couldn't escape them when you're up real late at night. They love a love song. Those infomercials and stuff.
They do it all those infomercials with the Time Life record set.
They all got the Billy Jack Haynes look to them, the beard and the mustache and the long hair.
Dude,
remember Billy Jack Haynes?
I remember Billy Jack Haynes. He's insane now.
I saw that. Yeah, he's kind of weird.
Yeah. I did. I do want to talk about this. I did go to there's a new record shop. We have actually got a camper at a campground in
Record shop. What is that? Is that something physical?
yeah, believe it or not, it's about an hour away from here. But on the weekend before my birthday, I was off and I went. We headed to the campground and I went to the record store. Everybody's record shop is what it's called. And let me tell you, this guy had a great selection. It's a nice. You'll see the video of it. Nice place, and he had. I I spent some money that day on there, which he was. We talked. We had some conversations about Kiss, and then
No.
yeah, believe it or not, he had some Kiss stuff in there. But he, believe it or not, this was a great story. Dallas Dawes is the guy's name that runs it. He traded uh, a Kiss Dynasty album, the original album signed by all four members. I'm talking about, the four originals for a big time
Even
collection.
though one of them didn't really play on it.
Exactly. I was going to say, did Anton Fig sign it?
Yeah,
But,
right.
I was like, you're kidding me. You had Dynasty signed by the way. He said, yes. He said, this guy was a big, and actually, I'll show you something. Show you something I got. I know I'm a Kiss tard, but added to my collection cassette.
Oh, nice.
But see what it is?
Creatures.
Creatures Unmasked.
I have that. I have the CD of that.
Right. You don't see that much. I mean, I don't know why they did it. I don't know if they just wanted to get
They did it because they wanted to promote the band they had a resurgent and they wanted to push that out there. Yeah, I see what they did.
So
Whose ass is it on the back?
See,
I always thought it was a chick, and somebody said it was Paul. Like I look at different.
I've heard it was jeans.
Yeah.
But see, this one doesn't have all that. It's just got the.
Yeah, I have the CD. I was at a club one time for a Kiss tribute band, and they were giving them out. And I remember it was like, God, this ain't the real Creatures. What the fuck? I kept it.
That's a rare.
I got it somewhere. I got it somewhere. Yeah.
It's a rare find. But yeah, he was talking about that guy was the guy he got that collection was a big time Kiss fan.
What he trade for it?
Oh, he just a lot of his collection. I mean, it was a lot of vinyl. He got a lot of vinyl for it.
For that one album.
Yep. So, and that got the store started. So, I guess that was putting up capital to get everything started. But
hey,
yeah,
if you can find the Eric Carr solo, just the album, but for a good price, get that for me, brother. I'll pay you back because I'd like to get that because I got the 4 solos on my wall. I posted it on my.
I actually think it's gonna. I may be wrong. You might want to keep your ears open, but I actually think it's going to come out again Black Friday.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I heard.
I just want the album because I can have it on my wall. That's
yeah. You want to add it to the
collection.
Yeah.
You see it behind me, right?
Yeah, I got you.
I got Black Sabbath, Motley Crue, Joe Perry, Crazy Nights, Black and Black next to it, Number of the Beast, Crazy Nights. Got a lot of shit, dude. Dawkins. Hey, Dawkins got tooth and nail.
Dawkins. So, but yeah, guys, if you're in that area around Williamson, check out Everybody's Record Shop, 101 West Main Street, Unit B. And you can find them on social media. I mean, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, and they've got their own website, everybody'srecordshop.com. But
I'll check it out. Maybe I'll order something from them.
Yeah, you can order from him. And if it's something like if you go in there and there's something you want and he don't have it, he'll try to order it for you. Or he'll keep his eyes open. We did have a girl in there that was looking for some specific stuff, and he wrote down what she wanted, got her phone number, said if he came across it, I think she was looking for some Queen stuff.
I want the Nelson debut.
No, she was. I'll tell you, this girl was a young girl. She's probably in her 20s,
like Queen. That's awesome.
And she was looking for Queen stuff, and she knew her stuff too. I mean,
that's how I was. I remember when I was around 20, it's like, you got Kiss.
Exactly. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for tonight. But before we go, we're gonna talk a little bit about we're gonna get our buddy We're gonna have our buddy back up here, and it'd probably be once a month, maybe twice a month sometimes. We're gonna branch out. We talk a lot, and I post a lot about wrestling stuff.
He's a Hall of Famer too, isn't he, Stevie?
Who? Yeah, yeah. He's a Hall of Famer. That's true too. He is a Hall of Famer. But
Great memes.
the hitman from down under. If you I don't know, have you seen his football highlights? Did you see
I know that
hit?
I know gets you excited. It had something to do with football.
Did you see that hit he put on that quarterback at the 1 yard line?
Is that him playing?
That was Pinocchio.
I thought it was like his nephew or something.
No, Pinocchio is playing in like a kids league.
He is quite a bit younger than us, so yeah, it makes sense.
Dude, he knocked. I mean, and first thing I did,
he only had rugby down there. I didn't think they had like football.
He sent me that highlight. First thing I did after I saw it, because I saw him kind of, when you see them kind of do this number after they do a hit, you kind of get worried. And I said, dude, are you okay? I mean, you had a headache or anything like that? But yeah,
he's younger than us.
He's the hitman. It's the hitman, Jack Pinocchio from down under, from Australia. We will be doing a sidecast called the Triple Threat Main Event. There's 3 of us, so
it'll be 3 o'clock in the morning, American
time.
No,
actually, no. He's looking out for us. He's looking out for us. So there's a little time difference, but
we'll let me know when, Stevie, because I got to take a nap. You know me. It's past 9 p.m. So
you won't be up past that point. We've already got a time set up.
Okay, good.
And it's not bad for us. I'll put it.
Okay, good.
Not bad.
I'm glad you put us in that, not just me.
No, it's not bad for us because I've had an interview with somebody from over there that I had to do at like 5:30 in the morning, and
that's dedication, Stevie.
Yes, but we're gonna do that. The Triple Threat Main Event is what we're gonna be, and we're gonna talk a little bit of wrestling. We're gonna have wrestling episodes, and I think it's gonna be good. I think we've been talking back and forth about it, and I said, let me get Worden in on this. So I'm looking forward to it starting this weekend, guys. And if you guys have any suggestions on that or any topics you want us to cover there, we're more than happy to do it. We're going to do, and we'll probably do more old school. We'll probably mix in a little bit of just talking about current stuff, but more old school stuff is what we're probably going to do.
Our top 5 gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
I remember that.
I couldn't name 5. I know there was a big.
I
remember that girl in the POWW.
Something like that.
She was like in the Aerosmith video, Love and Elevate. I remember that.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. But anyway,
Pete, Powerful Women of Wrestling or something like that.
It was Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. I don't know if there was another one. Was it?
There's like a Netflix series on it too. I never watched.
Oh yeah, it was Glow. Yeah, that was another one. But we're gonna do a little bit. We may do some old pay-per-view reviews, talk about matches like that, and give you our thoughts on it, because there's a lot of crap out there too. We could have fun with. But anyway,
if there's crap out there, we'll cover it.
If there's crap out there, we're gonna find it.
When you think of trash, think of Hakeem. What movie is that from?
I know what that movie's from. Everybody does. Coming to America.
Okay.
Eddie Murphy. Anyway, any last words, Ford?
No, it's good to see you again, Stevie. It's good to be
same
doing
here,
this again, man. I know you've been through a lot of stuff the last couple of months. I wouldn't wish on anybody, man, but it's good to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I think it's going to help, get my mind off some things. But I'm ready to go, ready to get back into it, and we're going to have a lot of good things coming you guys' way. So for Worden, for myself, for Brian Mullen, for Matthew Bazemore, for Robert Myers. Let's see, who else? Who else am I forgetting?
Jack.
Pinocchio wasn't up here.
Yeah, Steve's going to be on the show.
Pinocchio, yeah, we'll give Pinocchio. I don't even.
He's sleeping. He's sleeping right now, anyway.
Yeah, but actually no, he probably isn't sleeping. He just liked the video.
Okay.
So he's probably awake. He's probably at work. For all these people, thank you guys for chiming in. We appreciate Robbie Browning for you chiming in too as well. But you guys have a great night, and we'll see you next time on The Fly.
See ya.